You've just been told to do nothing for men, and that works until you're sitting there doing nothing and nothing is happening back. Doing nothing isn't the whole strategy, it's the starting point. In the next 10 minutes, I'm giving you 5 tools that replace every verbal strategy you just gave up and turn waiting into one of the most powerful dating strategies for women that nobody is teaching. You close the app, you even put your phone down. 30 seconds later, you picked it back up. That's not a discipline problem per se. That is a missing set of instructions. Here's what nobody told you about the silence. Your body doesn't know it's a strategy. She has no idea. You're running your actual life, your work, your focus, and you're trying to remain peaceful while the background program called "What Does His Silence Mean?" is consuming processing power you can't afford to lose. That's where most women lose on the strategy, not in the decision to do nothing. It's everything that comes after that. Stay with me because what I'm giving you at the end is not another rule. It's the chess piece that changes who controls the board next. I get it. Right now, you're doing the work. You've stopped initiating and over explaining and making it impossible for him to take you for granted. But the silence, yeah, that part feels unbearable. And every part of you is composing the next text anyway. So I have an idea. Put that text in the comments instead. What you were going to say to him, yes, type it below. You'll get it out of your system and we will all understand exactly what you're going through. By the way, none of us are going to judge you. We've all been there. And that man, most importantly, will never know you almost broke. That's a better use of the words, right? I want to tell you about Dumb V, okay? She was the version of me who knew exactly what she was supposed to do and still ended up picking up the phone and typing, "I just need to know where I stand." We'll get there. But first, I am now Miss V. I coach high achieving women on dating strategy from Monaco. Before you go rolling your eyes, Monaco isn't the flex. It's the proof of concept that I'm teaching from inside the club. So be sure to save this video and subscribe now. The next time you need it, you're going to want to find this video easily. So the first thing you do inside the silence immediately changes how it feels because it shifts you from being passive to active without breaking the strategy. And that is to watch his effort patterns, never his words. While you're doing nothing, he is telling you almost everything you need to know. Does he reach out when there's nothing to gain? Does he follow through without a prompt? Does his effort increase as his feelings deepen? Or does it drop the moment you stop making contact? Most women spend the silence obsessing over what he's thinking. The women who win in dating spend it observing what he's doing. One gives you anxiety and the other gives you data. And ask yourself one question. Did he initiate or did he respond? Because initiation is evidence of desire and response is evidence of availability. So you're watching his effort pattern. Now, what does the silence itself actually mean? Not all silence is the same. Strategic silence has a pulse. When he surfaces, his effort is deliberate. He reinforces things you mentioned before. He advances the situation. He makes the silence feel like anticipation. Whereas default silence is flat. When he surfaces, it's generic. "Hey, how are you?" No advancement, no curiosity, and perhaps not even a question mark at the end of the sentence. He's maintaining access with minimal investment. You've been told what not to say. And when you do speak, what comes out either builds your position or it dismantles it. So speak from desire, not need. There is a difference between, "I was just thinking about you," which hands him your emotional temperature, and "I had the most interesting thing happen to me today," which makes him lean in without understanding why. Desire invites pursuit. Need triggers distance. Every word in early dating is either building the mystery or solving it. Become the kind of story he cannot put down. Most women hand him the ending on date number 2, and then they wonder why he stopped reading the book. That is the standard, and most women have never been taught how to hold it in real time, under pressure, across the table, when he's saying all the right things, and your nervous system is convinced that he's the one. Now, some of you already know the solution to the silence problem. You know you should be so busy with your actual life that his silence barely registers, and you're still thinking about him. I get it. I've been there. That's not a character flaw. It's a gap, and I've built something specifically to close it because what most women do next costs them everything. That's exactly why I built the Dating Strategy Lab, because knowing is not the problem. I know you know. The gap between knowing this stuff and being able to hold it in real time when he goes quiet, when the urge hits, when your body is convinced this is an emergency, that gap is what the lab closes. And inside, you'll practice before it counts. So the next time the silence hits you in the face like an ice pack, you're not composing the text, you're running the diagnostic. So come practice with me. The link is in the description. Here's the part nobody teaches, and yet somehow everybody needs. The first 72 hours after you proclaim you're going to stop doing everything, your body goes cold. Your focus dissolves. He is occupying real estate in your mind that belongs to your actual life. And a blaring alarm is going off that says, do something, fix something, send him something. And here's why. The same system that made you cry for your mother when she left you in the room when you were like 1 or 2, that system is still in charge today. It doesn't update for context. It doesn't check whether this is a situationship or a survival situation. It just goes, wait, where did you go? And it will not stop asking until someone answers. You are a grown woman with a career, a passport, and a skincare routine that probably costs more than some people's rent. Like, I don't know. And your nervous system is in there absolutely convinced you have been left in your crib. That alarm was installed early by every adult who told you love and relationships require constant tending. Your body learned if you're not maintaining it, it must be dying. So when you stop, everything in you screams that you're losing him. You are not losing him. You are about to find out who he is without your management. That is the most valuable data in early dating, and you cannot get it any other way. The discomfort is not a sign the strategy is wrong. It is proof that it's working. Now, at some point, the silence stops being a test and starts being an answer. And here's when you know. When his silence has outlasted his last meaningful effort. Rewind that 10 seconds and listen to it again. When the last time he advanced the situation is further back than you're comfortable with admitting. When you're doing more mental work to keep hope alive than he's doing actual work to earn you, that is your answer. Not a maybe, not a mixed signal. That, baby Linda, is an answer. And the sooner you read it, the sooner you stop investing in a cold file. Dumb V had every rule memorized. Do not initiate, don't chase, don't make it easy. And then a man she liked went quiet and her body went cold. She couldn't finish a sentence in a meeting without her mind drifting back to the last thing he said. And then one day she picked up the phone and typed, I just need to know where I stand. That text wasn't a reasonable request for clarity. That was anxiety dressed as logic. What actually fixed it was not more discipline. It was more signal. So what should she have done instead? Called her favorite aunt, checked on the friend who went quiet, poured her energy into someone, anyone who actually deserved it. After a while, his silence starts becoming information. When you have range, you have discernment. When you only have the signal, congratulations, you only have anxiety. That's why doing nothing on its own is not the strategy. It's just the first move. Watch his effort patterns. Read the silence itself. Speak from desire and not need. Survive the transition without collapsing inward. And recognize when the silence has stopped being a test and started being your answer. This isn't waiting, this is watching. And watching is one of the most powerful dating strategies for women that nobody else is teaching. The gap between knowing this strategy and being able to use it in real time across the table from a man saying all the right things is exactly what I built the lab for. Inside, you don't just learn the framework, you practice it. Real dating scenarios with my AI characters built specifically for this. Men with different investment styles, different communication patterns, and different tells. You're going to practice reading them before you're sitting across from one. Twice a month, live, in the room with me. Real situations, real feedback. Just so we're clear, the version of you inside the lab is a trained assassin wearing silk gloves. She's not white knuckling the silence. She is precise. She's watching, and she knows the difference between men. She's not waiting by the phone. She has somewhere to be and someone else to be with. Did this video give you something new to think about? Subscribe now, because what's coming next is the part that changes how you show up in every conversation moving forward. Now you know what to do inside the silence, but silence alone is not enough. Here's what nobody tells you. The women who win in dating aren't just saying less. They know exactly what to replace their silence with. That video is already up and it's linked right here. So go watch that next.